How you doing, people? How are we? I hope your seasons are going well. Welcome to the Snake Room podcast. As always, if this is your first time tuning in, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, bit of interaction. Let us know if you're liking the content. Also, let us know who you'd like to see on the Snake Room podcast as well. I'll try and get that sorted out. Got plenty of people lined up, ready to take the seat across from me. So stickers, anyone wants stickers, you know what to do. DM me, get in contact, and I'll get them sent out to you. Big shout to the Wild Rack boys. Had a great day yesterday. Big shout Darren and Toby. And met Nobby as well. Give Nobby a follow. I'll drop his Insta link below. Go give him a check out. He's just getting started in the hobby. Great guy. Who we got in the comments? Addy Barton, how you doing, mate? What's happening? See, you're smashing it this year. Every day there's a clutch or a pippage or something. I'm pretty sure every day. But love to see it, man. I can't wait to get up to Liverpool. Check out your little thing you got going on there, your lovely little shop. Anyway, let's get this show on the road and welcome our guest for the night, Tipton Balls. How are you doing?
Good evening. Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I am awesome. Just mentioned to Addy, his season's going well, and
yeah, I heard you say you're up Liverpool. It's only across the pond for me, really. If you do any Googling, it gives you everything within 20-odd mile radius. It always comes up Liverpool, but it's 20 miles as the crow bloody flies.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
20 miles to get there.
So your season's going pretty well. Yeah, your season's going pretty well. Would you say?
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's going all right. You know, so I'm glad it's a bit staggered because I don't want to overwhelm my incubator at the moment. It just means I'll have to set a second one up otherwise. You know, I've got 2 in reserve, but I haven't used any of them yet.
You got 2 incubators in reserve?
Yeah, but because this one only holds 30, you see, so.
Okay. So that just shows how, you know, you're not having a bad season when your first incubator holds 30 and you think about firing up another one.
Well,
yeah.
I set myself a goal in about September last year. I thought if I hit 40 this year, I'd be over the moon, like, you know. That was the goal, realistic goal, because half of the girls I've got are first timers, so I wasn't expecting half of them to go anyway. Just for the big girls I bought in, if half of them went, that would give me about 40 clutches. So that was my target. So I've got 24 so far.
24.
So I'm not doing too bad. But Joe was saying today, it looks like there's about another 30 that are going to go. So
wow, jeez. How many breeder females do you actually have, roughly?
I don't know, 120 there or something.
Wow, jeez.
I've done 107 or 108 pairings so far.
Right.
But there's a good few of the young ones that have gone back on food, so I'm hoping they'll go later on because that will help stagger the incubator. So I don't mind.
So when you say you're going to stagger them, are you happy to breed all year round then?
Yeah. Well, if I got half a dozen 6 to 8 clutches a month, that would do me. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Because then you're overwhelmed with hundreds of babies that you got to try and feed all at the same time and record them all and everything else. You know, if I can get everything in stages, that will suit me. You know, but also it allows me to think on planning through the year as well, because there's lots of girls that are coming up to weight now, ready for breeding, and showing the right signs. So it just gives me a bit more time to decide what I want to do with them, you know.
Yeah. Hey Michael, how you doing? Checking in from Germany. I appreciate the pictures sent of the my animals you got for me. Can't wait to get them.
What you got coming?
From Michael, I have a sable double het. I always forget what a double het is. Always
You've
forget.
got too many on order, haven't you?
Do you know what? I've got a few on order. I'm actually going to pick one up in a couple of weeks' time from Rattlesnacks. I've got a
Rattlesnacks. Where are they from?
Rattlesnacks. Is it Ilminster? Thank you, Michael. It's a sable double het hypo clown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then what have I got from? And then I've got a hypo het DG as well.
All right, nice.
Yeah. I won't say that actually. No, I was going to say something to Michael, but I'm going to leave it.
I've got a couple of prides I'm dying to get over. Like,
yeah,
one's het clown and one's het DG as well. Like,
right. Okay.
Both breeder males, and they're both at weight now apparently. So I'd just love to get them over.
Yeah. Is I think Rattlesnacks is like Ilminster. I think it's.
Okay. You said rattlesnacks. I've heard of rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnacks. Yeah. He's the guy who does the rodents, but he's got his own collection as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I've got a leopard spot nose 66% het clown coming from him, which I've got to pick up in a couple of weeks. But let's talk about, because you haven't been in this hobby all that long, have you?
3 years. In 3 years next month, actually.
3 years. So how did you actually get set in this hobby? How did you get started?
I originally had snakes and lizards and all stuff like that, 30 years ago. But then I dropped out of them about 28 years ago. Well, it would have been, 28 years ago. And then for a few years, I was doing praying mantis. I set up a website and everything else and got my own thing going. And within 6 months, I was the biggest in the UK, biggest in Europe, really, because I was at the time I had 73 different species, and I didn't know anybody that had ever had more than 40.
Wow. Gee.
When I do something, I like to go out and try and do it to the best of my ability,
Jesus. So how are they to breed? Like,
it depends on the types of them, really, because with a lot of them, it's humidities and stuff like that. They all have different humidities where they're from, and so, plus I used to breed my own flies for them as well.
That's one on me. You used to breed your own flies.
Jeez. Yeah, fruit flies and green bottles and stuff like that. Hi, Jake.
Evening, Jake. How you doing?
So that obviously for feeding to them as well. But then I used to sell the fly cultures and stuff like that. I used to sell all the tubs, nets, all different things. I had everything covered on my website, And then I was at the IHS show, and it popped up on Facebook actually about a week ago. So it would have been like 3 years ago. I was at IHS just selling mantis, nothing to do with reptiles.
Yes, I did see that picture on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And,
my son Link, I gave him some money because we were selling bits, and I said if he helped me, I'd give him some money. Anyway, he went off. I gave him like 20 quid. Did he come back with a male royal? I was like, right, okay, that's a new one, because he was into his scorpions and spiders and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
He probably had 40 odd tarantulas in his room at one point.
I'd have 20 quid as well, though.
Oh, I know, yeah. And then later on, he was helping me out with more stuff and things like that. And I had a smashing day. I literally sold out everything by early afternoon. I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. But at the time, I'd had a lot of L7 devil's flower mantises there, and they grow, pretty big, good 6-7 inches long, And so I'd grown them all on, so they were only like 2 molts away from being adults. And of course, most people only ever get them at L2s and L3s when they're really small, because people say they're hard to to breed and to rear up. I find them so easy, it's ridiculous. So I took a load of pairs as well, like, you know, so they were just selling, and they were sort of like, I don't know, 150 quid a pair, and they were just going hand over fist. Wow. I literally had a net, you know, with like 50 of males in, 50 females, and then I had loads of tubs with pairs in, and I sold the lot, you know.
So when someone comes over and wants like one out of the net, is it kind of like when you go to Pets at Home and you try and pick out a fish? All right, which one do you want?
Yeah, just say which one you want. I'll put my hand in and grab it. You know, they could have it. But yeah, because I did so well, I give him a bit more money, and he came back with a female royal.
Bloody hell. Yeah,
he had 2 royals, you know, and someone said he's got a bargain. I don't know who it was, but it was a couple, and then he wanted to get into breeding and everything else, and I'd had corns and hoggies 30 years ago. But then I was getting them off my mate who worked at Dudley Zoo, and he was just importing them. And every time he put an order in, I'd be like, right, 6 on there for me and stuff like that, you know?
Right, yeah. So, go back to the mantises quickly. Like, don't the females eat the male after breeding?
Some do. Ideally, you don't want them to, because obviously you'd like, when they lay oofs, the fertility of each one goes down as they lay more, because they only have to mate once, and they can lay 10 oofs and they can all be fertile.
Right.
But if you can keep the males alive, you can breed them more, and then it keeps the fertility up on all of them. But most people just breed them once and let them go. But then you're getting the last oofs where you've got a handful out. Well, I was getting the last oofs and still having 50 babies out of it, you know?
Jesus.
So and then if you save the males, you can sell the males, because everybody wants males because they're always getting eaten.
So do the females like lay eggs or what?
No, it's called an oofica. It's like it looks like it feels like a hard marshmallow.
Right. Okay.
And in the middle is all like, there's like a honeycomb of all the pupae in the middle of it, right, and the outside of it is just for protection, really.
Okay, so you just leave it wherever she lays that or whatever.
Well, I had tubs set up, breeding tubs, where they could leave them in there and they could hatch them in there. I'd just take the adults away and put them in another one, and then I'd leave all the baskets set up, so when they hatched, they were already in there. But I also had loads in tubs glued to the ceiling, so as they hatched, I would take them all out of there and put them in a net and things like that, you know.
Right, that's crazy.
Types, it's unreal, like, you know.
Yeah, that's mad. So when you said, how long did it take you to become the biggest breeder of them? In
6 months.
6 months.
6 months. I was the biggest in the UK, and I was importing to right away across America and Canada. I could send stuff. They used to get picked up 3 o'clock on a Monday. By 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, it'd be in New York.
Wow.
My mate Craig Baker, he would send me a message. Just got them. Thanks, mate.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I could send stuff by Royal Mail next day delivery, and 10% of the time they still don't even get there.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, you're paying £3, and yeah, I could send something to America for 20 quid, 150 animals, and you know, mantises, and they all get there perfect.
That's crazy.
Do
you still have anything from like that
to all over the rest of the states? Then you see. Yeah.
Do you have anything like that anymore?
Not at the moment. I cut them right down. I will go back into it when I get more time, because it was great. But I was getting a lot of flack off customers as well, because they were always saying, "You got no sale." I was selling so much to America that I had people messaging me, "What have you got?" I'm like, "Well, I've got 100 of these, 50 of them. I'm just going to put them on the website tonight." And within 5 minutes of them being on the website, I'd be sold out. They'd buy the lot. But you're doing one package with 200 animals, whereas if you know, for everyone else, it would have been 200 packages for 200 animals, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it was easy just to have one payment, one shipment, and the whole lot's gone, you know. And over there, they go for 3 times as much.
Right, I see.
So they were buying as many as I could get, like.
That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. So then, obviously, you picked these 2 snakes up at the show.
My son did,
yeah. Yeah, that's where it all started.
Yeah, and then he was wanting to breed them and stuff like that. So I started looking into them and all that lot. And the next thing I was finding all these different morphs and colours and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't want to be just breeding plain ones then. So I started picking up odd ones for him to go with the ones he had. So he could breed some nice stuff and things like that. And within, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, I think we had 30 snakes, you know.
Yeah. So how old was your son when he picked up his first ones at the show?
He would be 8 then.
So, okay. Nice.
He's 11 now. And now he's like, every time I tell him there's a clutch of eggs now, he's like, all right, okay. Anything off the corns? He's only interested in the corns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many corns have you got?
I think he's got about 8 there, I think now. 4 females and 3 or 4 males. No, 5 females. 9 he's got. 4 males and 5 females.
Okay.
And 2, I did a swap with a guy for a fire het clown male for 2 females and a bit of money. And then a couple I picked up freebies that people are getting rid of and don't even know if they're male or female, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We put males in and they haven't been fighting and they've been giving me eggs, so they're obviously female.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're all right after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
eggs you set. Yeah.
But he loves his geckos and his Pac-Man frog and stuff like that. So he's more into them than the snakes at the moment, you know. But kids are kids; they'll always have fads, you know. So
yeah, exactly. But you know, if he's been into it for at least 3 years now, like obviously he'll probably have stuff for the rest of his life. But he might go not as mental as what you've gone. But
it's his fault. I'm just addicted now because of him. Like every time I saw all the different types, like same with the mantis, it's like, oh, look at them, You know, some of the mantis I had, people have never had in their life. You know,
right.
But I just had to have them. You know,
yeah,
just because no one else had them, and I loved them. But half the collection was for myself, and half I used to sell. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got these 2, and then it just took off from there. Just went.
Yeah. Then I ended up making my own racks. I built some like V70s type racks for them for some of the bigger females, and then a V35 rack. Then I built a hatchling rack, and then we had 5 clutches the first year. By the end of the year, we'd already had 5 clutches, and we didn't even start till the end of June. So, and then last year, I started pairing up and stuff like that. And then because I was looking into more stuff and seeing more stuff, all my things I wanted to do had changed. So I stopped pairing altogether. I sold probably 99% of all my males because they were just single gene stuff. And then I just started buying adult females.
Yeah.
As many adult females I could get of different types that I knew I wanted, like, you know.
So is it you buying all the females off Morph Market and just leaving the spiders?
Probably. To be fair, I got most of my from Europe. I think I picked up 100 adult females from Europe last year.
Wow. I suppose looking now, you've done it the right way because getting.
Yeah, I knew what was coming and everything else. So I went over a couple of times. I went through France, picked up some in France. Then I went on to Belgium and then toured around Germany and then ended up in Holland and back home. And I think that first trip I brought 60 animals back.
Wow, that's mental.
But
how long did you go for? Like how long? That
was only because COVID was on everything else. I think I was back within 46 hours.
Right. Okay.
So,
whirlwind tour.
Yeah, I had one night's sleep, and from the Thursday night, I never slept till the Saturday night.
Jeez.
I just literally finished work and everything else, then drove down to the shuttle, the Eurotunnel, jumped on, and then that was it. Traveled through the night, like, you know. I was meeting people at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know. Driving for 2 hours, literally, 100 mile an hour to the next stop.
That actually sounds fun. I think I'd enjoy something like that.
I did 1,202 miles in that 40 odd hours.
That's crazy. That's a lot. I say I enjoy it, but then for 3 days after, I think I'd kind of like be zonked. You must have been
I know
like,
I had to be back home on the Sunday because I was in work first thing Monday morning.
mate, Jesus. Oh well, things you do for this hobby, eh?
I know I couldn't have done it a couple of years ago because I used to have sleep apnea. You put me on a motorway for 10 minutes and I'd be like, it was so boring, just that noise of the motorway, and I'd be gone. You know, I was terrible because the doctors used to say, "Does it affect you?" I'm like, "No." Well, I've only lost my wing mirror about 10 times. You know.
Yeah, killed a cow.
But now I could just go. I could drive for forever now. I don't care. You know, it's brilliant. I don't mind. You know, that's why I'd rather, even when I go around the UK, I've done so many pickups. You know, like I left here one day and then I went to see Eddie in Leon the Solent, and then went round off to Norwich on the coast, and then back to Essex, and then went up from there up to Lincoln. No, it's Cambridge first, sorry. Then up to Lincoln, and then back home.
Wow. So you get around then.
Oh yeah, you know I don't mind. It's nice to meet people as well, put names to faces. You know.
Yeah. So I
Learn more as well that way, you know, because you see what they've got, what they're working with, and also seeing the animals with your own eyes, different morphs. It makes you learn a lot more about the genes, you know.
Absolutely, I think
I've got so much to learn, you know.
Yeah, I think it also you go and see other people, you see what they're doing, you see what projects they're working with, and sort of you get ideas of like, I'd like to do that, but I've got my own little twist I'd like to put on that, and possibly, and it just gets your mind working. I think when you go see other people's stuff, and it's I'd say when I first got started, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd just get all my animals couriered, and then sort of like the penny sort of dropped, and I was like, why am I getting them delivered? Like, I want to go out and see these other places. Like, I can't remember the last time I got an animal couriered, to be fair. I think it might have been in COVID, actually, like when we were all locked down. I don't think I went anywhere.
My trouble is I had so many, the cost of getting them couriered was like frigging hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
Because there was like 6 stops and so many different animals and stuff like that. It was like, I could go and do it for like 50 quid's worth of fuel in a day of my time, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do. Because that trip where I went to Lincoln and all that lot, I forgot to say I went to Scott's as well at the same time. 16 up off Scott that he'd brought into the country for me.
Right.
That's where I met Jake and Marwen as well, like, you know?
Yeah. So, I seen Marv yesterday as well. Good old boy. So your first clutch was, did you say 3 years ago?
Not last year, the year before, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's been 3 years. Yeah, it must be, yeah. I can't think now. I'm sure, yeah, it came up 3 years. So this is my 3rd year. So yes, first year was 5 clutches and then 7 this year. Like,
do you remember your first clutch?
It was a lesser B to a pinstripe butter.
Okay.
And that went on to my friend Joe and James. They had a couple of clutch off it. Then I had another clutch last year off it. That had been mated to, I mated him to someone else the year before. She never went, but she went last year, and it was the same male. And then someone messaged me a couple of months ago going, I've got one of your males, the snake peppers, I think. Snake peppers couple. I'm sure it ended up at theirs place, a butter pinstripe, but he's an awesome male, not very powerful, but you put him in with a female for 10 minutes and he's locked. He's brilliant, like, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first ever clutch, that one.
Wicked. So you say you've got 24 that have already come out, and then you've got hoping for 40. Is there one that you're really hoping that will go, or like you've already got in the incubator?
I've got. I want something from the yellow bellies. For 2 years, my focus was freeways because Link got me into watching Brian Bartek first, and then from that I jumped on to Billy for Mutation Creation, and seeing all the freeway combos he was doing, that was all I wanted, was freeways. So I contacted a guy in Ireland who had some for sale. So I bought a three-way. I bought a three-way deal off him, and I bought a yellow belly female off him, and I bought what was supposed to be an Enchi pastel asphalt male. Took about, because he didn't come over a few times on runs and stuff like that. It took months to come over and stuff like that. So it probably took me about 8 months to get my hands on the snake, like, you know. And it still wasn't up to weight. So then I got it up to weight, and then from September I've been paying for females for like 6 months, because all I wanted was, you know, freeways. I've got to make some freeways. That's always been the target for 2 years, and I just love the combos, you know. And then this male must have got in with 10 different females, all yellow bellies, calico pastel yellow bellies, super entry yellow bellies, pinstripe yellow bellies, cinnamon yellow bellies, so many different combos, and never seen him lock once, you know. And anyway, I picked up some off a guy in Norwich, a few snakes, Het DG, Het TSK, and what he said was an entry asphalt, but he said he'd never proved it out. So he said, I'll just sell it you as an entry, but it's supposed to be entry asphalt. So I thought, right, if it does prove out asphalt, brilliant, because that gives me my freeways. But I put him in with this male I had, thinking, right, he can bloody fight, you know. I want him to get him riled up, like, you know, so he does something, like, you know. Put him in. This one that was supposed to be my breeder male sat there and did nothing. The entry asphalt goes straight past and everything else. Within 10 minutes, is locked with the yellow belly entry female. So I'm like, what the hell? I've been trying to breed this boy for 6 months. I put another one in. It doesn't even bat an eyelid. And then I popped it. It's only a bloody female, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, fuck's sake. So I got hold of the guy, and he's like, impossible. I said, I'm telling you now. I said, it's a bloody female. It's not male. It's got no hemipenes or nothing. I said, and I explained the story to him. I said, I was breeding it for months, not seeing lots. I thought, just because it's first time male, I'll give him a chance, you know, just keep trying to put him in, take him out, give him a feed, try into another female, give him a feed, you know, etc., etc. And anyway, it's the female. So then he was like, oh, I'll have to find out who had the female now, because they've obviously got a male. You know, it's like, I don't know how that happened. The staff know how I am with the animals and stuff like that, you know, so the blame started getting pushed onto the staff a bit, but he said he was going to sort out a phantom asphalt baby from the clutch, but it then puts me back another year, you see. Then I've got to wait to get the snake and then get it to age and then breed it again. It's just like, it's one thing I've been trying to do for 2 years, and it's the one thing that's just evaded me, like, you know. So I'm hoping now that this boy proves that asphalt. He's been to 6 or 7 girls. Hi, Toby. But I just don't want to end up with 100 bloody ivories. Because what if he's not an asphalt? It turns out he's an entry yellow belly or something. I'm going to end up with 100 bloody ivories. And I'll have 100 white snakes. I just don't want it. But then on the other hand, if it proves out asphalt and I get a ton of freeways, I'll be like, I wish I'd have paid him to more others.
Yeah. Your audio's gone a bit muffled. Have you done anything, or?
I haven't done anything.
Do you want to just exit quickly and then log back in via the link again?
All right. Okay.
Just try that.
Okay. Where are we? Once you get out now, then.
There you go. Yeah, it sounded like he was I don't know, a rape victim or something who didn't want to be recognised. Anyway, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us tonight. Any questions for Tipton Bulls? Just put them in the comments. Robot voice, yeah. He should be back any sec. There he goes. Hopefully his audio sorted out. Talk to me.
How's that? There? No?
It's kind of got an echo to it. I don't know.
And yeah, I've not done anything different whatsoever.
Have you got your phone upright or to the side?
It's upright.
Try twisting it. What about now?
I don't know, put it on the stand. How's that?
No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a bit odd, but we'll carry on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you had now.
So you had a female that you thought was a male, and it was your one you wanted to go the most.
I wanted to breed 3 ways, and it ended up to be a female. So it'd be great next year when I can make some super asphalts. But until then, I've got to wait to see if this one proves out. But I'm dying to get a clutch off the yellow bellies. At the moment, they're eluding me, like, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to get it from the right.
Yeah, if it's easy, turn it back the other way because it didn't make a difference or anything.
Yeah, okay. If the man who lives in has terrible. I wish.
Someone was going to comment on the backdrop.
Oh yeah. That's the partner, that is.
So, have you got any what you've got in the incubator a minute? Is there one you're really looking forward to pipping?
I'm dying to hit my first clown. I actually cocked up on a pairing. I had a pair of females from Yoris last year. One was an Enchi het clown and one was a fire het clown. And trying to get that right. And the fire looked like a bloody Enchi. All the pattern was over the back and everything else. So I had them marked up wrong. I had the Enchi as a fire and the fire as an Enchi. So I paired a fire yellow belly het clown to the fire het clown. Hit some super fires.
Oh, nightmare.
All the babies are white. I haven't even posted them because I'm just that sick of it, you know. It's like, so they could be clown, they might not be. I've got to wait now and prove them out. The only good thing is it's all females.
Have you not had them under UV light?
A bit. One looks clownish, but I don't know what it's carrying, like, you know. Could be yellow belly, could not be, you know.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So, what have you got clown pairing this year then?
I've got a blade to a pastel clown female because I've been lacking clown males, visual clown males. I've got an Enchi, but he's not up to, well, he's up to size now, but I've not seen him lock yet, not properly anyway. So I've been trying to use hets that I've got, which would only give me het to het, so I've been trying to avoid them. But I've just picked up. He's hoping his voice pips. I'm going to be picking up mahogany het clown off downstairs.
Yep.
So yeah, so because the clowns are not doing now, I haven't really pushed them. So I've got 3 or 4 kilo pastel het clown females still to go yet, like, you know.
Right.
But I'll pair one to this mahogany when I get it, you know.
Yeah.
So I haven't really done a lot with them. I just had one now, which was a blade to a leopard het clown, but she only laid 4 eggs anyway, first time girl. But she'd gone off food so early. I paired her up thinking she'd start smashing food at 1,500 grams, and she went to 16 and then just stopped. So she only laid 4 eggs. One was a weak veined and one was a slug. So I've got 2 viable ones. I just hope I hit a clown there, you know?
Yeah. What?
I'm hoping to hit some pieds if I can. I've got a yellow belly pied to a het pied. And I've got a cinnamon pinstripe. Can't remember, butter, I think it is, het clown going to a het pied as well. So it just this year just be nice to hit a few firsts, you know, first for me anyway, you know.
Yeah. What other recessives are you working with?
I just had a clutch of ultimales. I had a pastel ultimale paired to my 3 het ultimale girls, and then I managed to pick up an entry ultimale. So I sold the pastel, paired the entry to them all, and I've just had my first clutch. I hit only 2 entries in it, but they're both females.
Okay.
Sorry, entry ultimales. So hold them back. But then I've got another girl there that's 4.5 kilos. She's just started nesting, so I'm hoping she'll give me even more, you know?
Yep.
I'm just lacking on the visual side when it comes to recessive stuff.
Well, there's not that much about.
I know. And I had to start somewhere, you know, so I picked up as many as I could just so that I had at least something to play around with, you know, hoping that, 25% I'd hit the odds at least, you know?
Yeah. I mean, most of us can't, dart around Europe for 48 hours. So, you have to make your own. So, but, it's a process. You're not, like you say, you're not racing anyone. It's just take it in your own time. And
I'm probably more excited about the DG stuff, though. I love DG.
Okay. Now you're talking.
You know, I've got 3 clutches in the incubator from DGs, so well, I just had one spider het DG that went to the entry lesser pastel Desert Ghost boy.
Right.
Then I've got a butter pastel het DG clutch, which went to the entry pastel het DG. And then a butter het DG, which went to the same male entry pastel. So it'd be nice to hit some entry combo DGs in that at least, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then I've just reserved some Harlequin Desert Ghost stuff. So next year I'm going to make some super Harlequin Desert Ghost, hopefully.
That was from. I did see them. Who are they from? Where did you get them?
I can't not tell you one person. The one male is coming from Lambert Van Heel.
Yeah.
I'm getting a cinnamon Harlequin Amur het Desert Ghost male.
Right.
Breeder male. Because it's visual Amur as well, it'd be great to get into Desert Ghost, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other one I've got is a Harlequin Desert Ghost female, and I've got I think it's a Harlequin pastel yellow belly het male that's coming with that one. I wanted the yellow belly to give me a few options as well, you know.
Yep.
So either way, I can make super Harlequins at least, but then I can also put them males to my other females, you know.
Yeah. So how many bull pythons you got in total with your males, and roughly? So you got, what did you say, 120 females?
No, that's just breeding weight. Yeah, I've got over 300 animals. I don't count anymore.
Wow. Do you breed your own rodents as well? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a percentage of them. I'm trying to set up this new, what was going to be a new budgie room is now going to be the rodent room, and then the old garage, which is the rodent room, is going to be the grow on and hatchling room.
Right. Yeah.
Because then I probably keep, I'm hoping a good 500 hatchlings, grow ons in that room alone, like, you know.
Right.
Over the next 2 years when I get too greedy.
Wow. So you're going to be hoarding a lot of stuff back this year?
Yeah, probably half, I'd say. Mainly visual females, just because I haven't got them myself, so I need them, you know. Yeah. Otherwise, what am I going to use in 3 years' time, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So how sort of percentage-wise, I guess you're not self-sufficient rodent-wise for your whole...
I produce 50% at the moment.
Okay. Do you enjoy that part?
I don't mind it. That's, it's just the time really, because we're on the bottled water at the moment, so the water's time, and then the cleaning out is a massive job as well. Like, but It's part and parcel. At the moment, it costs me 10% of what it would cost me to buy in all my frozen food.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a no-brainer, you know. I'm spending probably £80 a month instead of 800 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a big difference. Big difference.
I bought 1,000 large wiener wraps off Simon Ling only a few weeks ago, you know.
Yeah. I think
I
once you
don't buy little amounts. I just want. He said I got an offer of 1,000. I was like, go on then, I'll take 1,000.
Jesus.
You know.
Yeah, I think once you get past a certain amount of animals, you have to look into make your own rodents. Otherwise, you know, it's like you say, the money side of the feeding part of it comes into play big time. Like, you know,
That's the biggest expense with that and the electricity, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because the racks, I've spent a lot of money on racks, but I bought the best racks, you know. Just because I knew what I wanted. I wanted to maximise the space. So the GBR racks I went for maximise the space. Because if I'd have gone with LP or Euro racks, I would have only got 11 rows on the back wall instead of 12.
Yeah. So yeah,
the narrowest was that's part of it. There are better pictures out there now. Of it set up now. That was before my OCD kicked in. I needed the rest of the levels.
So I mean, I know people have his racks are starting to go out a bit more frequently now. Obviously, there was a big hold up during lockdown and stuff. I know the price of
materials. It was
the price of steel.
Stainless steel for them, you know.
Yeah.
And because they were saying they were having problems with the stainless steel, they were bumping the prices up as well. What we think is a lot of it was because half of their staff was on furlough. They were trying to recoup costs of paying staff being on furlough.
Right. I see. So what was the lead time?
You know,
what was the lead time for your racks? Like since when you ordered them to when they arrived, like how long did you have to wait?
The first one was about 4 weeks.
Okay.
It's up to 8 weeks now, but apparently that's just because of the this amount of orders he's got in. I think last time he'd put in £30,000 worth of orders. Before that, he put in 20 grand's worth of orders. Because I don't think they're a massive company, but obviously they're doing what he wants, which is what you want. You need a company that will do exactly how you want them done, like, you know?
Yeah.
But, I've just been asking him now about a V35 rack because I need one on the other side now, right? You know?
Yeah. How are they working out for you? You enjoying them? I guess you are because
they're so easy to clean. They're so smooth. They're solid as well. They're the most solid racks I've ever had. With the Euro racks, you could they would move it a little bit, and the same with the LPs. There was a bit of flex in them. With these, because it's one rigid pole going up. Once you start putting the layers in, every layer you add, they're solid. And all I do is I tighten the front screws. The back ones left just loose enough so you can take the shelf off and on, because it takes like 2 seconds to literally unnip 2 screws on the front so that you've got enough just so it slides off.
Right.
For cleaning it, and then you just put it back. They're brilliant. And I run mine on cable, and I've never had a problem. And within, 2 weeks of having them, I decided to let that spider girl do a maternal incubation. I thought that's the best way of testing the racks out. And they were perfect. I think they had pipped on day 53.
Is that this?
Yeah. No, that's the spider het Juju's just laid.
Okay.
I think.
Sure,
that's the one that's just laid, the spider het Juju.
Okay, but maternal. Have you done is that the first maternal incubation?
The first one I've ever done, and at the time I thought I had a pastel hinging Roma male, which I'd paired to the spider. So I thought, it's a nothing clutch. It was one I'd done planned, over 14 months earlier. She never went the year before, so I didn't think she was going to go, So I ignored it. But so when she laid, I put it on Facebook, and then I got slated, absolutely slated. Oh, you shouldn't have done that pairing. Everyone's, all the babies are going to perish and all this sort of like, what are you doing that for? Stupid and all this sort.
Right.
I never had a clue that hidden gene Roma with spider are dangerous. Someone put a list up then on there, which I then screenshotted with all the different combos, cinnamons of the kinks and stuff like that, which I saved in my file now. So if I ever want to refer to something I'm not sure of, pairing wise, I know not to pair it. But at the time, I didn't. The only good thing was when they hatched out, it was full of tricks. So I'm like, they're all perfect, so it's obviously not the hidden gene Roma. And then I was scrolling through my photos because I'm terrible at writing stuff down. But I take a photo of the locks, and I found a photo of the pastel yellow belly trick male, which I now know is pastel yellow belly trick fire. Lock with her, just one lock, and it was enough. 9 babies.
Wow.
6 tricks in the clutch. It was brilliant. They're all beautiful,
Yeah, I know. Toby's just hatched some tricks. They look.
Yeah, well, since then I've had another couple of clutches off him, off the same male. So they're amazing. He just throws such wacky stuff. I've got hurricanes, but the hurricanes don't even do anything for me. When I look at the trick compared to the hurricane, I'm like, give me trick all day long, I like all the wacky stuff, the stuff that breaks the patterns up, but gives it a lot of pattern as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Something that's different from the norm. It's like with, pies. I want the high-coloured pies. I don't want the super white pies. They're boring, To me, some people love them. Everybody's different. But to me, I want colour, Because I went to Lambert Van Heels. I believe your partner does most of looking after the burgers. You do, darling. You do an amazing job. I do all the cleaning, though. She does all the water and the food. She's brilliant. She even pulls all the babies now and the moms and everything. She's brilliant. But yeah, I was at Lambert Van Heels last year with the twins, Joe and James. Joe looks after my snakes with me. And we were chatting, and they're like the pie kings of Europe sort of thing, And they were talking to me. I was like, oh, I've got no pies. They were like, no, the boys said they had no pies. They were like, what? You've got no pies? You can't have a collection, no pies. They're like, no, we've got no pies. And they were talking to me. I said, I've got some hats, but I haven't got visuals,
Yeah.
Anyway, they took us upstairs, showed us their collection and everything else. Then they took us up to the next floor again, where all the sales and holdbacks were. And they gave Joe and James a Blaze pied boy, and they gave me a Blaze pied girl, just because she had a tiny amount of white on it.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I was like blown away,
Yeah.
I thought, the generosity, and also the fact they're amazing animals, and we both come away with stuff for free, But then the boys were equally, they were overwhelmed when I got to Yoris's place, Because I was buying 23 off Yoris, and I left with over 30. We were bagging them up, and he pulls out a 3 kilogram orange dream lesser female. Can you use this? I'm like, yeah,
sure.
Yellow belly pied male adult breeder. Can you use this? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Let me think.
An OD ivory male. Can you use this? I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
And in the end, I think I left with 10 free animals off him.
Yeah.
And I was writing them all down because I was like, right, what do I owe you for all them? So I could remember what he'd given me. All I wanted was an amount, and I said, I'll send you the money. When I'm home, I'll send it to you over the next couple of weeks, He's like, no, they're all gifts from me, I'm like, fucking hell,
Sound, yeah.
You never get that anywhere in the hobby, Well, I never have anyway. I've never experienced or heard of it, but Yoris is just top man, amazing. But I've been to him a few times now, and he sent me a list of what he's letting go at the end of this year, another 20 breeder females. I just say, right, what do you want? I'm taking the lot,
Yeah. So you've got 120 breeder females at the moment. Have you still got room to expand? Like, I know you said you're getting B35s.
I've got about 60 60 odd V70 spare, and I've still got 25, 30 V35s I haven't filled up yet. But the reason I bought the racks and did the room and everything else was I wanted to be in the best position that I could expand for the next 2 years at least. Because obviously I'm going to hold stuff back, but I knew for 2 years Yoris was letting go adult females that were all hets for stuff, Well, that sort of stuff you never get half the time. So I was definitely not going to say no. I've got more het DGs coming. I've got more visual DGs coming. I've got visual ghosts coming, het ghosts coming, TSK stuff coming. So het clowns, leopard het clown, banana het clown, all adult females. I'm not going to say no to them.
Yeah. Where do you find them? Like, just...
I get lists sent to me by people that I tick off what I want and I send the list on to other people. Then.
Wow, bloody hell! Yeah, put me on that list, will you? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no worries.
So, what happens when you finally run out of space? You said you sort of set yourself for 2 years. What happens when you finally run out of space? To just build something bigger, or?
The aim is in 3 years when I finish working where I am now, because I've got 2 to 3 years worth of work for me. That's why I'm investing heavy now while I've got the money.
Right.
Because in 3 years' time, we want to sell one of our places, buy a piece of land, or a little tiny cottage on a big piece of land, and then I'll build a 100-foot shed, a 100-foot rat shed, and I'll just relax and enjoy my animals, and I'm going to pick and choose my jobs then. Just do the cream of the crop jobs and not the rest. And I want more time for family, friends, and partner and stuff like that. I want time for us. I want quality time. I've worked since I was 14. I'm sick of I say I'm sick of working, but I'm always working. I never grumble. I just go out and do it. But I just want some more quality time in life. And if I can get up and do a morning's work in the shed with the snakes every day, and it's enough for me to have the rest of the time to myself, brilliant. I'm not looking to into business. I just, if I can get enough to live off, where I can have more time for friends, family, and everything else, that would do me.
So kind of semi-retire kind of thing.
Yeah. That's the aim. But obviously, then if I do buy somewhere in 3 years with a little handy tiny cottage, then I'll be probably, expanding it 2 or 3 times bigger, spend another year building the house on it or whatever,
So, back on the grind again just to pay for the extra space.
It's for my own benefit, so I won't matter. It's just, I just don't want to be working all the time. And COVID brings a lot of things into perspective. Like, we want to grow our own fruit and veg and stuff like that. My partner's does the best jams and chutneys in the world. The couple here, I've done them hampers that she makes up and stuff like that, to say thanks at Christmas for all the work and stuff like that, because I've been working for them on and off for about 5 years now. And they go 5-star hotels all around the world, best places. They run a 5-star hotel, and they've always said they're the best chutneys and jams they've ever tasted ever. And they go around Europe, go to chateaus and bloody everywhere, So, it just allows my partner to do that. We can do the snakes as well, and we can live off our own, veg that we grow and stuff like that, and just live an easier, simpler life. So that's what we want. That's the aim.
So your facility you have at the moment, did you build that yourself?
Yeah, it's the old budgie shed.
Right.
I've had budgies since I was 7. They were part of my blood and everything else, but the ex-wife brought them into the divorce proceedings. Put a price tag of 25 grand on them, which then meant I had to find extra £12,500 to give her, from the budgies, So I had to sell my best 50 to help pay her off, because I didn't want to have a big mortgage over my head again. I had that with the bloody last divorce, so I ended up selling my best 50 birds, but then to get the top money, a great, amazing money, and then give it to your arch enemy, it just ripped the heart and soul out of me,
Yeah.
And for 18 months, I went in the budgie shed, made sure they had food and water, and walked back out. I broke all the pairs down. The cages never got cleaned for 18 months solid, the cages, but they were never used. It was only the flight. I'd go in, clean the flight, and then, make sure they had fresh food, fresh water. That was it. Back out the shed.
Wow. So you
in
don't.
the end, when they said, you can't be doing this, and I ended up getting some more budgies from a friend of mine, the top breeder in the UK, one of the top breeders in the world, really. And I built a massive, line of stood up, brilliant and everything else. And I had a weasel get in there one night, a stoat actually, and he killed 47 birds overnight. There was £37,500 worth of dead birds on the floor in the morning.
Wow.
And that was just the final straw then. I'd spent another couple of years trying to get them to that point, and I just thought, I'd spent about £7,500 in money I'd spent myself, and obviously what I'd bred from them. And that was the last straw. And then my mate said, look, I'll take them, breed some off them, because otherwise you'll just let them go until there's nothing left, So he started breeding them, youngsters out of them, stuff like that, and they were there. And last year I said to him, look, you've had them 2 years now, just keep them,
Yeah. So you had the budgies before the praying mantises and the royals and all sorts. Yeah.
Since I lived in Telford years ago, since I was 7.
Wow. Okay. So talking about the budget, fucking budgies. So when you breed,
it's definitely not boring when it's down to me.
So you put 2 in a cage together and just leave them and let them do their own thing, and
yeah, but it's all about. I used to breed show budgies, so it was about deportment, the way the budgies stood. But then you also had to take into account the depth of mask. But then it was width of head, back skull. So many things came into it. You'd pull a feather from one bird and compare it with a feather of the next. If you've got a short, wide feather, which tends to be a more buff, stocky feather, and you've got a long, thin feather, you want a pair which is called an intermediate. They're perfect for pairing together, because if you double buff, they end up too rough, and they never look like they ever come into condition right and stuff like that. But you're just striving for that bigger bird all the time. If you saw the budgies now, they're near the size of cockatiels nowadays compared to what they were years ago when you get your little Japanese Joey budgie from Pet Shop,
Right, yeah. I think
now
so they do lay eggs, yeah, they lay eggs, right?
Yeah. But they could be 4 up to 10, 12 eggs.
Right. So again, do you take them away
it depends. Some of the best pairs you can set up what they call fosters, and you can remove the eggs because then the female will go back and lay more.
Okay.
So your best pairs, you try and get them under some fosters just to maximise what you're getting from them.
Yeah.
You don't do that with a few, or if you had massive, big, buff, heavy hens that you think wouldn't feed very well, you'd let them lay the eggs and then remove them,
Yeah. So, I guess, like you said, that, what did you say, £36,000 worth that got...
That was dead, yeah, 6,500.
So,
at the time, the babies I was rearing were like £1,000 each,
For a budgie?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus
Christ. The guy I was buying off, he had a guy come over from Taiwan, and he'd already turned down 10 grand for one of his birds. And the guy is on the phone to some guy in Japan, and he's talking to him, and he turns out he's like 10.5 grand. He's like, no, I can't sell that one. He's like 11 grand. No, 12.5 grand in the end. And Mike just went, yeah, okay, you can have it.
Wow.
Most of the budgies ever gone for, but he'd send 50 over. It'd make 200 grand overnight. Sending 50 budgies to bloody Taiwan, China or Japan or whatever, they're going mad on everything over there.
Yeah.
And all they do is you send a 30-second video of a budgie that you'd sell probably, a couple £100, and they're like, oh yeah, I've got you £1,000 for that, or 2 grand for that, because he would just put them on his site and people would bid on them.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, and then he'd phone you up, I sold that one for such amount, sold that one for such amount. and then he'd arrange a courier to pick them up. And as soon as the courier had picked them up and verified they were all there, the money was in your account.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus. So, going back to the snakes, is there, well, as a long shot, but is there anything you don't have in your collection? What you really want to pick up more for?
I've got some migraine stuff coming, and some splatter stuff. I've got more DD stuff coming. Trying to think what's different I've got coming. I've got a bit of mahogany now and chocolate from downstairs, thank God. I was chatting to Darren from Neighbours Constructors, and I was going on about, I haven't got. I was after. I said, if you know anyone who's got do you know anyone who's got VPI and TSK, so Xantic stuff up? Because I've got females sat there with no males,
Right.
And he said, I'm sure Darren's got one for sale. Anyway, he had a Crown Het TSK for sale. So I reserved that. And at the same time, he said that he was going to let go of that mahogany that produced them 2 mahogany clowns for him.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I'll take that as well. Then he's got a chocolate special, because I was telling him about the chocolate I should have got. And she let me down in the morning. I was actually driving around the country on that morning to collect the animals. And she said, he's been eating for 2 months and he's lost loads of weight, so you can't let him go. I'll refund you the money. I'm like, great, you could have told me earlier, So I started looking for another chocolate, I'd like to get a killer ultramel male if I could. I just picked up a nice orange ghost male, and I love my normal ghost male, the blackhead one. He's smashing it. He is like. I got a couple of clutches in the incubator off him already.
Nice.
He's a blackhead pastel pinstripe mystic ghost.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been putting him to different ghost girls. A Belle, which is a lesser Moab het ghost. He's been to the normal ghost. He's been to the champagne het ghost. No, champagne ghost, sorry, as well. Then I've got another one there. Entry pastel butter fire something het ghost that he's been to as well.
Right.
So I'm hoping to make some nice combos with some nice recessive stuff. I just need, some stuff I've got a bit of, and some stuff I've got next to nothing, like, But I concentrated last year, say, buying females more than anything. It was just the odd male that I thought I can pick them up along the way, because then I can be a bit more selective on what I get and hopefully just find the right male, That's why when that ghost male come up, I thought, yeah, that's great. There's genes I haven't got, so it would be nice to put into the females I have got. And that's what I want to do, really. Just add something extra to what I haven't got, like, That's why them Harlequin Desert Ghosts, you don't see many Harlequins in the UK, especially in Desert Ghosts, so I jumped on them straight away, like,
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I picked up that Sable as well. I was like, don't really see that much over here of that either.
Same way I picked up them panther pies, because I've never seen any in the UK, but apparently there are some here. But and then that Taronja male I got, but he's an orange green pastel Russo Taronja, so he's a killer male, like,
Yeah.
And then I've got an orange green pastel Russo Spectre male, because I've had a few Spectre females I picked up off Yoris.
Right.
Pastel Spectres, Fire Spectre off another person. So he's been to the Fire one and locked with that straight already. Literally a week after I bought that quarantine, it was like great, So hopefully I'll hit some Super Spectres, which would be nice, because they're crazier pattern, Anything that's different from the norm, crazier, I like,
Yeah.
I tend to stay away from a lot of the subtle, colour changes, but then chocolate I've seen more of lately, and same with mahogany, so I'm picking up one of each of them just because it adds a bit, another bit of difference in the mix, like,
Yeah. I mean, that changes the color a bit. Then you can go with all the pattern changes and do your own
Like the
thing.
clowns, they just look totally different from normal clowns. The heads are different, everything. So again, it's nice because they're just different from the normal, the normal clowns that you would see,
Yeah. This stuff
I
you've
got
got.
one chance this year for albino clown. I got a female. I'm hoping will go for double het genetic stripe. Desert ghost.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
So I'm hoping to hit them. They'd be killer,
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we pinstripe black pastel het Desert Ghost girl a go, just to give me a bit of something different in Desert Ghost again. I've got a couple of calico bits. I like calico, but I just never been able to pick up any decent looking females,
Right. Yeah.
People
I must admit, the last few months, the calico and sugar gene have grown on me quite a lot. But that happens. I was speaking to someone the other day. I said, like, some of the genes that you think originally, now just gotta leave them alone, and then you see what someone's done with it, and you're like, right, I need that now. It's just nuts.
Stuff I've been looking at and thinking, what's wow about that? So I've stayed away from them. But over the time, as you say, people hit more stuff. You're like, oh yeah, I like that one. But with some stuff, it's only one example, so I'm still not bothered yet about them.
Yeah.
I want to see half a dozen different examples. So that I know that I've got a few different options that I can do with it.
Yeah. So I know your son has corn snakes and that. Do you have anything else different species of snakes?
He's got leopards, leopard geckos, right? Togo geckos, Batman frog. That's about it at the moment.
What would you be interested? Would you, in time, would you want other species of snake?
Oh, we've got some milk snake, and we've got carpets as well,
Okay.
I don't mind, not yet. I'm looking for another female milk, but trying to get them is like, rocking horse poo. I just can't see any at the moment.
Yeah.
But again, they're just for dabble. I like them, so I'd like to get a breeding pair established, just for my own sake, I'm not bothered with what I do with them. I just like the look of them,
Yeah.
But that's it at the moment. Later on, if I had more room, I'd like some, green tree snakes and stuff like that. But I haven't got the room, so it's it's one of them. I won't entertain it unless I've got the room. It's not fair on the animal,
Exactly.
So when I get a 100-foot shed, I can have a shed for all other stuff.
All the hot stuff.
Yeah, a 20-foot room just for others.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So you said when you were doing the mantises, you went to the IHS show and whatnot.
Yeah.
Have you been there quite a few times, or was that your first time going there, or like?
I think I've been twice now as to pick up some snakes,
Right.
Yeah. But it's mainly just meet and greet and things I've already arranged to pick up more than anything. But then the last one I went to, can't think of his name now. There was a guy selling. I went around the whole show, and there was only two snakes that caught my eye, and it was a pastel hurricane male and a butter pastel hurricane female. And they were only babies. She's about 1,200 grams now, and the male's the male's been to half a dozen females this year, and just waiting for him to lay, But they were the only ones at the whole show, really. Everything else, I just thought, because as I say, I like the wacky patterns and stuff. I want something that just looks different. And I went back, and I didn't have the money for it, but I just said, I asked who they were, and there was some guy from Plymouth. I've got his name in the phone, and he was packing up. They were his last two, and so I said, can you ask him if I can put a deposit now? Give you £100 now, and then I'll give him the money over the next few weeks, and I'll pick him up next time or something like, So
Yeah.
that's what they did. I put a deposit on and they kept them, and I picked them up at the next show, next IHS show.
Okay, cool, cool.
And then I picked up a couple of yellow bellies off Richard Deadman and stuff like that. And say at one point I was just looking for yellow belly females. That's all I wanted, the yellow belly combos. Just because I was only focusing on freeways. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I picked up a few asphalts and then the yellow bellies because that was my main target. But then since then, it's just grown and grown and grown. Like,
Yeah. Were you planning on going to the one that was just got cancelled? Were you going to go to that?
Yeah, I would have, just to meet people and pick a few bits up. I've got a couple of bits to come, like, a few pides and spot nose yellow belly female and stuff like that,
Yeah. I guess I think the next
I
one.
can't stop collecting yellow belly females. I think I've got about 30 yellow belly female complex now.
Yeah.
But you can never have enough combos with yellow belly and adult females anyway.
Exactly, yeah. You can pick up the same bloody female. As long as it's female, you're winning. Let's face it. So yeah, you've mentioned so many different snakes I have not seen on your Instagram. So you need to up your Instagram game. I'm afraid you need to sort that out.
I have people that chat to me regular, and they're like, "Do a video. I want to see these on the video. I want to see them females on the video." Because now and again, I'll send them little pics and they'll ask about certain things. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them. They're like, do a video with the females and do a video of this and do a video of that. I keep saying I'll get on and do videos, but it's just finding the right time. And I could do with someone there that will be filming at the same time, sort of thing. And at the moment, we're like buses passing the night. I keep asking Joe, and he's like, yeah. Then he's busy on the weekend when I could do with him. When I've got the time, and then other times he's got the time I haven't,
Yeah. So do you YouTube at all?
Not yet. I've set up a YouTube account. I did a homemade video of the bloody first clutch I hatched this year, but I didn't like it. I never posted it because I was going to do one of each clutch I got out and stuff like that. But I just haven't got around to it yet. And then my son, he's only 11. It's coming up. Hey, Dad, look at these logos. You want this to open it up. You want this type of music, and I haven't got a clue, but he's way into it, like and I can set you a logo up and all this sort of he's only 11.
So a bit of advice I'll give you is 99% of people who make YouTube videos hate their first one. So I was like that. I was like, I am never. This is awful. This is terrible. In the end, I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to post it. And then in a few years, I can look back and just laugh at how terrible it was. So that's what I did in the end.
When I'm thinking of doing things, I can never think of what to say. I always wind the missus up like, I'm so shy. I don't know what to say. Like even with this video, I'm like, I hope I don't bore them too much and all this sort of, I don't like chatting. And she's like,
you do pretty well.
You put me on a subject I like and I'll chat forever, but when it comes to doing little videos, things like that, I never know what to say half the time. I'll be doing something, I'm supposed to say something, I'll be like, what do I say? Like, I think I overthink it then,
I do that all the time. Like, I get on YouTube video, I'm thinking, right, I've got to mention this, I've got to mention that. And I get down, I'm like, put it all on the laptop to edit it. And then I realize, oh, fuck, I forgot that. Oh, fuck it. Yeah. Probably like another 6 minutes worth of video I've completely forgot to do. I can't be asked to go back downstairs and do some more. I'm just like, fuck it. Get what they're giving. Like,
you bought a vlogging camera that does videos, 4K videos and stuff like that. Ready. I've only picked it up last month, and I use it for some photos because I can send them to my phone and then put them on. And to be fair, the photos are amazing, but I do need to do more stuff, I got my first calico clutch due to hatch in about 10 days' time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping, I think there's 5 or 6 eggs. So I'm hoping I hit a visual there. I've got a pied clutch due to hatch. So I'm hoping that will, produce something visual at least. And I think then after that, I think we start getting to the first couple of head desert ghost clutches, which is what I really want,
Yeah. Everyone wants
If
that
I
DG.
can get Desert Ghost into everything, I'll be happy.
You can't lose with Desert Ghost. Like there's no downside of Desert Ghost. I can't see it. I mean,
that's why I want them double hets. If I can produce, pastel Desert Ghost genetic stripe, I'll be over the moon.
yeah. So I think I had 9 females I could have had gone this season. I think everyone went apart from the only 2 visual females I've got. They didn't
I've
go.
got
I was up.
2 visual Desert Ghosts. One went off food, everything else, but then she went off food so much she was losing weight. So I've got back on food now, so I'm going to leave her for this year, just build her up.
Yeah.
And then I've got a pinstripe one, which went off food, that I thought was going to go, and is now smashing food again. So I'm hoping she'll go later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, as I say, I don't mind if they keep on, as long as I get a few each month, I'll be happy. You know, as I say, target's 40. If I hit 40, I'll be over the moon. But if I hit a couple every month, that'll suit me because it'll just keep the incubator in rotation. You know.
Yeah. So your eggs in the incubator, do you wait for them to pip naturally, or is there instances where you've gone in and
this year I've had no heat on in the incubator whatsoever.
okay,
None at all. All I'm running in that incubator is a fan.
your room's that hot?
My room is about 28 degrees, and the incubator sits at 32.
Oh wow!
I think it's purely the slightly higher heat is created from the motor of the fan.
Oh wow!
It's never been on for the whole thing. I've already had 4 clutches already, and I've got 20 more to come, and they're all perfect, like Well, saying that, I lost a couple from the het clown clutch, and I had a het pie clutch go bad, but there was only like 3 eggs anyway. So
yeah.
with all the rest of them perfect, and they've been acted out and everything else, but I've had no heat on it whatsoever.
That's a first on me. Yeah.
Putting
eggs in an incubator that's not even on.
Nope, not even on.
That'd scare the shit out of everyone. Like, wow.
It stays warm enough in the room, so that's it.
That's nuts. I mean,
and if the temperature drops, it doesn't affect eggs. It's when you peak, you gotta worry.
Yeah.
So I'm not bothered if it takes an extra week for them to hatch, fair enough. But I've never had one go past. I never had a clutch go past 53 days before it pips yet.
So, has it ever been on your incubator?
Yeah, it was on when it was in the house because obviously I had space.
Right. Yeah.
Different bedrooms and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
Since I moved it into the snake room, it's always been at temperature. I just turned it right the way down to 15 or whatever it was, and it's been like that since before any eggs were in it because I wanted to test it.
Yeah.
It was running at 30, 32 because for some reason I thought that was high. I thought, I've got to get it down to 30. But then I googled the Fahrenheit to thingy, and it's like no, it's like 31.7 is like 88.5 degrees, which is perfect. So I was constantly trying to turn it down to the point where it didn't even come on anyway. So I just turned it right down to nothing and left it at that, and it just sits at 32 degrees. So I'm like, great, perfect.
Wow. So
I like doing things different,
Definitely. So,
and there's 19 clutches sat in there.
So you said you were going to pair all year round. So is your room that well incubated so you won't have to turn it on during winter either? Or
oh yeah. I upgraded the ceiling from 4-inch joist to 6-inch joist, all packed insulation, insulated plasterboard on there. All the walls are battened with insulated Kingspan backed plasterboards as well. It's got a double glazed door on the front. Every wall is insulated. So over winter, I moved them in over Christmas, and it was sitting about 26 degrees all over winter.
Right.
And obviously, then I had hardly any cables on whatsoever because I only had half a rack on one side and whatnot. now I've added more cables and there's more being turned on. Obviously, it's gone up another couple of degrees. So I think this winter, I'll look forward to the lower temperatures, like, just to get the room down a couple of degrees.
So, do you use the same incubator for the corn snakes as well?
Corn snakes on the bottom shelf. The very, very bottom, they sit about 29 degrees.
That's what I thought. I thought they'd sit a tad lower than ball python eggs. That's what I thought.
Right at the bottom they are, where I keep the empty tubs, and then the other stuff's higher. And then obviously, as what they hatch and I take them out, I move things up.
Yeah. How many?
Go on.
How many eggs does a corn snake lay roughly? It's more than a ball.
That's for the last 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had one that laid 12. But then the 23, there's only about 10 that are viable now. So, but we weren't even pairing them. We put a male in, and we were just mucking about, like, and it only seemed like the male was only in there, like 2 weeks previous, and opened it up one day, there's bloody eggs there. I didn't put a tray in or nothing. She just laid them like a python had, like,
Yeah.
Cleared a bit of the substrate, laid them on the floor. I'm like, wow. And then 4 days later, the other one went. Another one went exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because you read all these things about, they'll go egg bound if they haven't got somewhere to lay and nest and all that lot. He's just made a clearing like a bloody python and laid them.
Yeah.
By surprise. In fact, I didn't even pull them. Joe pulled them. I said he pulled more eggs than me this year.
So it's quite easy. Like, there's quite a demand for corn snakes still.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had people messaging me, going through all the royals I got for sale, and then turning around at the end after you spent 2 days chatting to them, going, "Have you got any corns?" I was after corn, really. I'm like, why didn't you just say that from the beginning? It could have saved my time and yours.
Yeah.
But they don't, it's like, well, my dad said it'd be easier, or my brother said it'd be easier, or something like that. Why don't you just say that from the start? I could have saved us a whole lot of messing about, and me sending them 20 different bloody pictures,
Yeah, that's the only snake I've ever lost is my corn snake. Like, my daughter put it on the floor and it shot up behind the fire. In the fireplace, it was gone, mate. Absolutely gone. Yeah. Found like 40 houses down the road, across the road. Like, God knows, about 4 months later, apparently it popped up behind someone's radiator. God knows. Like, yeah. Oh, they're resourceful. God, they weren't I think when we lost it, it was like September time, so it was still going. I think it was found like February.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I was like,
I've seen videos where they've been found 2-3 years later in the walls, still alive.
Yeah.
They must have just been living on insects or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they don't look undernourished either. It's
no.
Crazy. But they've obviously lived off something.
Yeah. Well, the rats in the walls. So, going back to your racks quickly, what substrate are you using in your racks?
I use at the moment I'm on what's it called? Snowflake soft tip.
All right, that's a new one on me.
It's very fine. It's like a slightly rougher lignin cell.
Right. Okay. Actually,
I started using it, and they seems to suit them fine, And I just took up doing what Scott Wilkinson said in his video, where once you remove it, push everything up fresh at the front, and just keep doing that. So it keeps rotating. We do all that way now. Yeah. It's easy enough to come by. I buy a massive sack that will do, pretty much half of my V70s, and it's like £6.49 a bag.
Yeah.
Holds moisture, collects moisture, it dries out lovely and everything else. So I don't have a problem with any shedding or nothing.
I lost a hatchling corn at Christmas back in 2009 when it was huge when it reappeared a month later. Yeah. It's taunts for you.
That's it. They're eating something. The mice behind the back of the kitchen units.
So, yeah, like I say, you've got experience at selling at the IHS show, so I guess it's just a natural progression that you will eventually have your own stall of ball pythons at the IHS.
Yeah, I've been in touch with a couple of people about the like the little display rack that they do.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, with my colours, I said I want an orange one. You know, and they were like, "Yeah, it's fine, be an extra 20 quid." I'm like, "Perfect. I want the biggest one you do." You know, later on, you know, I might need a couple of them in years to come, but one would do me for now. But at the moment, I'm just more interested in breeding, hatching out, and seeing what I get. You know, if I sit on them for a bit and hold them back till I make the decision, I've got the room to do it. You know, I'd rather not be rushed into selling stuff and then regret it later. You know.
Yeah. I mean, when I first went to the IHS show, Morph Market wasn't about either, which obviously makes it so much easier to find what you're looking for.
Oh yeah.
It's completely changed the game, really. I mean, when I first started, I was looking at snakes on like Gumtree and stuff like that. But yeah, there weren't even like pre-loved or pets for homes and stuff like that.
Well, I used to go to the bird shows in Zwolle in Belgium, Holland, and that, and it's like a free for all. You literally, because as you say, there was no sales things for us. It was whoever was first in the hall got the best things. So in the end, I'd book a table just so I was in there at 4 in the morning, go around everybody else's table saying, "I'll have that, I'll have that, I'll have that." Because over the years, I've had 24 different types of parrots, and I've had conures, macaws, oh God, pretty much every finch that was ever going at some point, I've had loads over the years, so I used to, travel all over and pick up stuff
Yeah.
But in them days, it was all about getting in there first because, the best stuff would always go first. And I presume it was the same with the IHS shows, before Morph Market. If you got in there first, you got the best pick,
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people buy the I keep speaking sponsorship. It's not, is it? The membership. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're getting there early, and then you'll find a lot of people will buy a table even though they don't put nothing on it, just because they want to get in there and see what everybody else has got.
Yeah. So just recently, you've been jumping on Instagram when you've been pulling clutches and whatnot. Are we going to see
people getting to know me and stuff like that, and people asking, do videos, things like that. So I just thought I'd start doing one. I didn't even know if anybody would join on and stuff like that, but, and lately I've been getting more people on, which is good.
Yeah.
And it's just nice while I'm doing something to have a chat,
Exactly. With like-minded people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about putting names to faces as well, And the more I say, like a lot of people will jump on and they'll just have their logo name. And so I tap the button in the corner trying to find out if their real name's on it. Yeah. Half the time it is, and half the time it isn't,
Right, yeah. So are we going to see any...
RD Balls or something. His name was Roy. But of course, I just RD Balls, then I clicked on, see what his name was. It's just a way of learning who people are as well,
Yeah. Are we going to see any egg cutting live videos on Instagram?
Yeah, I need to do some, I just need to get it set up and be happy with what I see, Because I have enough clutches to do enough practicing, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I reckon a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on what you're doing and what you're churning out this year. That's for sure.
Well, I'm waiting on the Hurricane stuff to drop. I've got 2 Hurricane males, so they've been to 10 females between them. So I should get, if I get half a dozen Hurricane clutches, I'll be happy. If there's any asphalt male proves out, then I'm hoping for, a good half a dozen freeway clutches. I've got a pastel gravel male who's been to some females in the meantime while I was waiting for the asphalt male to get to age. So I should hit 4 or 5 highway clutches as well, all different combos. But I'm not that fussed on the highways. But it was one that came in the collection I bought, so I've used it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then my twister now is finally decided at 720 grams. He's finally realised what he has to do. So,
what it's all about.
Yeah, so I've had people asking me since I bought him as a baby, pair him to clown. They want twister het clowns. I could probably produce 20 and still not have enough for people that want one off him, right?
Wow.
But yeah, so he's finally doing stuff. I'd like to see that in a few other bits. I paired the entry ultra male to a couple of different females with yellow belly and different stuff in, just so that I can get a few more combo hets. Just stuff for in a few years' time. Hopefully, produce some more different visuals. In the recessive stuff,
Yeah. So it's all about. Well, I hope your season carries on the way it started off. We've got
fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're just over an hour and a half, so I'm happy. I'm over the moon you were able to join us. Take time out from your hectic, busy working schedule.
Yeah, so I'll go back to the caravan now. The love shack.
Anyway, mate, I appreciate you joining us tonight. And I'll be in touch soon.
Take care, buddy, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Cheers, mate. Up your Instagram game. Get more get more of these awesome animals on there.
I'll try.
Excellent.
I just need to keep doing what they should be doing.
Excellent, mate. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Right, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Had a bit of a sound issue, but I don't know about you, but I kind of got used to it after a little while. He's probably going to go back and go, oh, I sound awful, but is what it is. I mean, we carried on. I didn't really want to cut it off, but it is what it is. Anyway, hope all your season go well, like I said earlier. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're checking out. I've got a video. Basically, I cut some eggs the other day. I didn't record it because the eggs kind of looked iffy, but I cut them off camera. Everything looks cool. So I'll probably do a sort of update and go back through what happened and whatnot, why the eggs went a bit wrong. But everything's good inside the eggs. They're starting to come out today. Everything's cool. So I'll be dropping a video in the next few days. Please feel free to check that out. But anyway, for tonight, I'm out of here. Make sure you check in the Instagram page for next guest on the podcast. Anyway, I'm out of here. Catch you later, guys.